You might have heard of Rep, Rogue, Titan, Bells of Steel, but this here is one of the newest competitors in the space, hailing from Australia and finally available in the US of A. This is the new half rack from SMAI. It's the Vanta series half rack. SMAI is a company that's been around for a long time in Australia, and they're finally now servicing the US with 3x3 racks like this, half racks, full racks, standalone attachments. We'll see Smith machine attachments, Aries style cable conversion for a full rack system, and a lot more. I'm excited to show you this half rack, a lot of the attachments they have, their ecosystem, and what you can build it into if you get this in your home. So let's check it out. Hey guys, this is Michael with the Jungle Gym Reviews. Today we're reviewing the SMAI Vanta Series half rack. I here have the ultimate package, I believe, with a few extra additional add-ons that they sent to me. This is going to be compatible with their Smith machine attachment coming up. And if you want to build onto it over time, you can turn it into a fully blown cable conversion kit, just like the Rep Aries. I'm here to tell you a little bit about SMAI, some of these attachments, my experience using them, what I think of the quality, and overall, if I'd recommend this to you. Before I get into the review, if you could quickly hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already, it'll continue to help us grow the channel and make sure you get notified when we post our weekly review videos throughout the rest of 2025. And if you're interested in purchasing this half rack after the review, please check out that affiliate link in the description below. Right off the bat, when I got this was just the paint, the metallic, shiny paint. I got it and I said, oh, it said black, but I didn't expect it to kind of sparkle and shimmer. Some of the other things, just like some of the cross members that have the embossed or little name badge plates on them, that big, bold back nameplate cross member with the SMAI, just the all black on black with those, again, the shiny metallic, and everything was just very, very good, high quality. This is 3x3, but this is technically a metric 3x3 for those who know or care, meaning it is 75 by 75 millimeters, and rather than a true 2-inch hole spacing, it is 50 millimeter hole spacing. That's not really an issue for 99% of the people, and plenty of other companies like Rep and Titan are also metric, same hole spacing, size, everything. So just know it'll be compatible with those racks. So as you'll see, this is a pretty tall rack. This is 91.8 inches technically for all intents and purposes. Let's say 92. As you see, I'm 6'2", and I'm about to have my feet off the ground as I start to do pull-ups. So this is probably a pretty ideal range for me. But this 92 inches is actually pretty good size, and I'm really happy with it. They do now offer 80-inch options for this as well. That is great for basement dwellers. I had a basement gym for a long time that was exactly 80 inches. It's just nice because now you have the option to have something like this tall, full size, or something that fits in your basement. The front to back depth of this, if we exclude the front feet and the spotter arms, just the base rack itself, which is their most minimal configuration you can get for about $1,000, is 22 inches. That means it's 3 inches of the post, 16-inch cross member, and another 3-inch post. So again, 16-inch between the uprights, totaling 22 inches from front to back. Now with the stabilizing front legs, I measured it's about 44 to 45 inches. If you do get the front feet, which I do recommend if you really want to use it with the spotter arms and the feet and everything. Plus it gives you a little more holes to stick things like they have over here, like this landmine or various attachments, bands, stuff like that, that you can add to these front feet, especially with things like these lever arms or any sort of pull-ups or again, just heavy movements. I would recommend that. But you can buy it just in its base configuration, just like all the other manufacturers, and kind of build onto it as you need over time. The last spec to note with this rack, besides the 3x3, metric spacing, height, front to back depth, is the width of the rack. This is a 48-inch exterior width rack, meaning that from the outside of one to the outside of the other is 48 inches. Interior width then of 42 inches, subtracting the uprights. For a rack itself, I would say it's really hard to say what makes this special, better, worse than any other rack. I personally really like the fact that they have the laser cut every single number. My Titan Fitness Titan series over here does not, and you'll see it's every 2 holes. However, The one thing I do like about Titan, and I know Bells of Steel doesn't now, even though that's a Imperial 3x3 rack, is this keyhole spacing. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of these from racks coming soon, and basically allows you to use either a 1-inch attachment or a 5/8 inch attachment on the side, which makes it a little more compatible. Speaking to some of the attachments, let's first actually start here at the plate storage in the back. You'll see, obviously, they have these nicely coated, I don't know if they're rubber or what the type of material is, type of plate horns. So this is nice that if you have metal plates or something, you don't have to worry about them getting scratched going in and out. I have a full set for my 45s, 25s, 10.5s, 2.5s. The one thing I have noticed about these is that they do seem to flex a little bit. Don't really, even though I fully tightened it, so I don't really know what type of insert is on the inside. It holds the plates on just fine, but you just might notice it kind of tilts left to right a little bit. Now, moving from the weight plates to the front of the rack here, you'll see, obviously, these lever arms on the front of the rack. SMAI was nice enough to send me these to get an idea on what type of quality and features they offer. But one cool thing is that they rotate, have some sort of bearings built in, which is actually a really nice touch, especially when, you know, you're moving this fast and the weight is going to be moving around. Granted, it shouldn't, in theory, matter too much, but I have noticed in the past in my own set of lever arms, I found the plates actually spinning a bunch, so this is kind of nice to help with some of that centrifugal force. One of the other really cool things I like about this are the different knurling options. I think I've seen companies like Rep have this on their lever arms where they just have this really passive knurling. Also, the multi-grip angles just gives you a couple different options depending on if you want to grip it further away from the lever, closer to the lever, some sort of neutral grip and or angled grip, and you could always flip these upside down if you want as well. They do include the 2 pop pins and a bunch of UHMW on the inside, and you can take these off pretty easily. Even though they are heavy, you could hypothetically put these onto one of the uprights or put this onto some other 3x3 tube, either for storage or to do pull-ups, or if you just want to get them out of the way to allow yourself some more room, that's always an option as well. Moving to the spotter arms, I think they're pretty typical, standard, you know, UHMW on the lip too, which is nice. I know some companies don't offer that, but they are pretty low profile. Again, you'll see the numbers all the way across. Some of the other things they have, barbell storage. You'll see I have 2 barbells mounted on here that are upright. They have these really nice sandwich J-cups, littlest bit of an angle to keep the bar tilted back for you. So if you actually look here, it's kind of tilted back towards the rack, which is nice. I really like this thick style, and it actually does have a hitch pin slot underneath it so that it's really not going anywhere. You'll see some of the rollers here in a second. Let me grab that leg roller. This is really cool. Said nobody ever about a leg roller, but apparently me. But when you put this thing on here, they include these little knurled handles with them, which are pretty nice. You don't have to pay $60 or whatever like the Rogue ones. I have a set of Rogue leg rollers, and they don't roll like this. I hope this catches well on camera. This thing is smooth. So when you're doing things like Bulgarian split squats or something similar where your leg's on here, it is really nice because it actually goes with your leg, and rather than your leg just rubbing up against here. Plus the density is really nice too. Maybe it's not as comfortable like as far as the overall like softness, but I think it'll hold up a lot better long term, and obviously super big, super beefy. So these are actually pretty cool. Some of the other attachments I do want to show quickly are the chest supported row pad, which you've seen other companies come out with similar versions. This one is heavy duty. You have 4 different adjustments. It does take some finessing to get on just because it's heavy. Do this. They have this nicely shaped pad that it tapers down a little bit so that your chest and arms, especially like when you're doing bent rows, can go on either side, which is nice. It gives you enough headspace from the front of the rack. And I even do things like chest flies as well. As you'll see here, it actually is fantastic because it's a little bit narrower on the back. You can actually sit down and kind of get your shoulder blades off. So you get a really good stretch here. Whereas with like a normal bench, your shoulder blade scapula would kind of be hitting. So that's actually really nice. All right, one of the other cool things they have is this dip attachment, which is very unique. Now, you might recognize this style of a design from companies. I first saw this from, I believe, Mutant Metals that had what they call the UDA with removable handles. SMAI did something very similar here to where they basically have Mutant Metals-esque dip bar, but it combines the traditional rack-mounted dip bar and obviously a little bit of light knurl and these pegs, these attachable, removable arms rather, that simply give you 3 width options to hit either more narrow if you want more tricep focused, or really wide if you want more chest dominant. It's really easy because they have these little square brackets that line up with these square holes. You pop it in there so it's not going to rotate. The little knurled knob goes on the back, and now very quickly you can adjust from an interior width to an exterior width. And now you can do, dips like this. It's not like the new Rogue one where they have something similar, but that the handles are angled so that they'll be either up or down, slightly pitched. These are just for the inner and outer width spacing. Just like a handful of other companies, one of the other really cool attachments they offer is this utility seat / bench. It simply just goes across the interior width. It'll sit nicely on these spotter arms. You can lock it in with these detent pins on the end. And then by default, you use it as this little jumping pad. It's got like rubber grippy stuff on it. You'll see, obviously, your man's got hops. They actually include like a bench pad with it, but it lays on top and you can do things for like seal rows. Whatever your heart is content to use this pad for, just know it is a nice option. I think it's a little bit better, obviously, than the options that used to originally have, which was like the Titan one, and just with that diamond grip foot plate that was extremely heavy and kind of awkward. One of the other really cool things with the combination of the utility bench and the jammer arms that you can do is actually move the jammer arm handles up to higher position out of the way. So you simply take the utility bench. What you've effectively created is a pressing pad of sorts for things like leg press. And you can experiment around with this. I personally like doing these from the ground. I feel like that's the best angle, but you can play around and figure out what works for you based on the angle of your bench, based on your own body proportions, based on where you want to put the lever arms, how you want to load them, all those things. It is just nice to have this extra option. Now, as far as other things that aren't shown here, one of the ones I'm really excited to do, and I actually have it sitting in the box in my other studio, is their new Vanta series Smith machine attachment. But it should fit on different rack widths from 42-inch like this one to 43-inch like a bigger one, which is where some of the other Smith machine rack attachments fall short. Another one, and tell me if you want to see this on the channel, will be their Vanta series cable conversion kit that I mentioned, which basically turns this and this plus potentially a deeper rack into an outside function trainer trolleys and the dual center mounted high and low pulleys for things like lat pull down and low rows. Right now, they don't offer that in this half rack size and depth, and they only offer it for their full rack, which I think is either a 6-post or an 8-post. Just like any other manufacturer, they offer all sorts of configurations for however you want to build your power rack, and they offer all sorts of great stuff as far as an ecosystem, attachments, add-ons for cables and stuff later down the line. So guys, that's it for this review. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'll be happy to answer or at least try. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.